Okay, so good morning everyone, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam festival class. We are celebrating the appearance of Sri Vamanadev. Everyone understands English, verstehen alle Englisch. Englisch ist gut. Was ist deine Sprache? Ukrainisch, ja, da muss ich leider passen. Do we have a translation? You can do? Thank you. Do you think this is maybe too loud? Could be too loud.
Wir haben ein neues System, die Einführung mit starken Profis. Kannst du probieren?
So just put it further.
Kannst du mal kurz...
So just one moment for the sound check. Hare Krishna. I think now it's off again. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Good. You can hear as well, huh? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vratajananjana Yashodanandana Vratajananjana Yamunatira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande Jai Om Vishupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astotra Sada His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Vamanatvadashi ki jai, Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Shri Prabhupada. So on this auspicious day of Vamana Dvadashi, we're going to break the tradition, as the pastime also illustrates breaking traditions. And we're going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, which in the 8th canto glorifies the pastimes of Sri Vamanadev. And as we announced already in the morning, this presentation is going to be connected with the topic of truthfulness, and therefore we choose a verse according to that topic. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devirim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nastapeshu Abhateshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhagavati Naishtiki. So this is Canto 8, Chapter 20, entitled Bali Maharaj Surrenders the Universe, Text 4. Please repeat after me. Nayastyat parodama.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Nayastyat parodama.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Savam sodum alamanye.
Sarvam sodum alamanye.
Savam sodum alamanye.
Sarvam sodum alamanye.
Ritelika param naram.
Ritelika param naram.
Ritelika param naram.
Ritelika param naram.
Nayastyat parodama.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Savam sodum alamanye.
Sarvam sodum alamanye.
Ritelika param naram.
Ritelika param naram.
Please chant.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Sarvam sodum alamanye.
Sarvam sodum alamanye.
Ritelika param naram.
Ritelika param naram.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Sarvam sodum alamanye.
Sarvam sodum alamanye.
Ritelika param naram.
Ritelika param naram.
Ladies, please.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Sarvam sodum alamanye.
Sarvam sodum alamanye. Ritelika param naram.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Nayastyat parodharma.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Iti hovacha bhuriyam.
Sarvam sodam alamanye.
Sarvam sodam alamanye.
Na, not, he, indeed, astyat, then compulsion to untruthfulness, paraha, more, adamaha, irreligion, iti, thus, ha uvacha, indeed had spoken, buhu, Mother Earth, iyam, this, savam, everything, sodum, to bear, alam, I am able, manye, although I think, rete, accept, alika, alika param, the most heinous liar, naram, a human being. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. There is nothing more sinful than untruthfulness. Because of this, Mother Earth once said, I can bear any heavy thing except a person who is a liar. So here Bali Maharaj is speaking. Purport. On the surface of the earth, there are many great mountains and oceans that are very heavy. And Mother Earth has no difficulty carrying them. But she feels very much overburdened when she carries even one person who is a liar. It is said that in Kali Yuga, lying is a common affair. Mayeva vavaharike, Bhagavatam 12:2-3. Even in the most common dealings, people are accustomed to speaking so many lies. No one is free from the sinful reactions of speaking lies. Under the circumstances, one can just imagine how this has overburdened the earth and indeed the entire universe. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sakachartam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Chagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripe Vancha Kalpa Tarupyascha Kipa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Na astyat parodama iti hovachabu iyam savam sudum alamanye ritelika param naram. There is nothing more sinful than untruthfulness. Because of this, Mother Earth once said, I can bear any heavy thing except a person who is a liar. So, in an age, a long time ago, there was a great king named Bali Maharaj. And he came from the dynasty of the demons. And it is customs between the demigods and the demons, they're in constant fighting about supremacy. And Bali Maharaj, with his army, he conquered the whole heavenly planets. Now this, of course, created disturbance in the universe. And therefore the Devatas, the demigods, they approached Lord Vishnu for shelter, for help, for support. And at the same time, two devotees were praying to have the Lord as their child, Aditi and Kashyapa Muni. So on this coincidence, the Lord decided to appear in the beautiful form of a brahmachari boy named Vamana. Vamana, a dwarf, someone who is very effulgent. So Vamana Devi appeared on this Dvadashi day in the family of Aditi and Kashyapa Muni. Now Aditi and Kashyapa, they are the parents of all the Devatas. Therefore Vamana, he is also known as Upendra. Upendra means the younger brother of Lord Indra. Sorry, now I mixed something up. Because you were speaking about Bali, then we came to Vamana. No, it's correct. Huh? We got the context. So Vamana appeared in the family of Aditi and Kashyapa. Because Diti and Kashyapa, like the second wife of Kashyapa, she's the mother of the demons. So names are very similar, therefore we can easily confuse, but the mother of the Devatas is Aditi. And Vamana Devi appeared in that family, or in that dynasty. Now, Bali Maharaj, that great king of now the whole universe, one day he performed a great sacrifice. Do you understand something? You don't. What about the translation?
I asked about if Mataji needs synchronic translation, and she told me no, not synchronic, so she asked if we can translate.
What about this? Are there more devotees, some more devotees arrived, are there more devotees who don't understand English? Versteht ihr Englisch? So?
Maybe Deutsch, like this person.
Deutsch, dann wird es auf der anderen Seite wieder kompliziert, because she does not speak German. What about the translation system? There's no one who can translate to the microphone to Russian? Because there are now several devotees who don't understand English properly.
Yeah, usually we have a few who do when they are here, but now I mean, somebody can show her how to do with the system.
Maybe I can do it without microphone.
Yeah. But it's just
Yeah,
one person.
maybe actually you would need a translation too. Okay, sorry, your expression was not so clear if I didn't understand exactly. Okay, then maybe if you just would give the translation, then.
Okay, I forgot all the names.
No problem, we continue from here. Thank you. So Bali Maharaj, the king of all the universe, he decided to perform a great sacrifice. And on that sacrifice, Vamana Devi appeared. That little Brahmana, brahmachari, full of effulgence, entered the sacrificial arena. And Bali, because he comes from a great dynasty of devotees, his father was Virojana. Virojana is the son of Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj, we know he was born in a family of asuras or demons, but he was a pure devotee. And in the same way, Bali Maharaj, coming from that lineage, he was also a pure devotee. But somehow, because of these circumstances, he appeared in the family of the asuras or demons. Now, when Vamana Dev appeared, he felt immediately that attraction towards him. But because in the whole assembly there were all the asuras, he thought, no, I cannot offer my obeisances to him. I will get some trouble with my fellows here. Therefore, he could recognize that this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but externally he didn't show anything. But still, he received Vamana Deva properly, because a Brahmana entered the arena, and he gave him a sitting place and washed his feet. Now, after this ceremony of foot washing, he offered some charity. And Bali, he was the king of the whole universe. So therefore, with some kind of pride, he said, what do you want? I can give you everything. I can give you land. I can give you palaces. I can give you servants. I can give you cows. I can give you ornaments. But Vamana Dev, he only requested 3 steps of land. No, Bali said, this is not very intelligent. You're just a small child. How much land can you occupy with 3 steps? So he considered the Lord as less intelligent. But actually, whatever the Lord does is a pastime, and therefore he has some higher purpose behind it. Therefore, he is the most intelligent. Now, in this pastime, there's so many aspects which we could elaborate. And if you have some time, come during the day to the other lectures. We have one at 12:45 where we speak about Dharma and Adharma, and another lecture at 4 o'clock where we speak about surrender, which are all topics we find in this pastime. But here we want to focus on the aspect of truthfulness, and therefore I'm going to skip over some important aspects of the pastime. So, Bali, he offered charity. Vamanadev, he requested 3 steps of land, which Bali thought this is not very intelligent, because I could give you much more. Now, Bali, he had a spiritual master, a guru who was a guru in the family lineage. His name was Shukra Acharya. Shukra means semen. So because he came in the family line, or is the family guru, he's called Shukra Acharya. Shukra Acharya, he's the guru of the demons. Therefore, his mentality is somewhat materialistic. And when Vamanadev appeared, Shukra could immediately see this is Vishnu. And Vishnu has a plan. And Vishnu's plan is that he will take away all the possession of Bali Maharaj. Now, Shukra Acharya, he was maintained by Bali Maharaj. And he knew when Bali Maharaj loses everything, I lose too. And therefore he gave several arguments why Bali should not fulfill his promise. He gave in total 9 reasons why he should refuse. And as I said, we will not go into that detail, otherwise time will be too short. But at the end he said, you can take back your promise, because you didn't utter the holy Om before you made your promise. Therefore, your promise is actually not valid. You can take it back, it's not a problem. Now, Bali, he gave some counter-arguments to that. Because he is a devotee, and he could also recognize this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore, I want to give something in charity that would be appropriate. Now, after this discussion took place, Shukracharya, he was very upset, because he knew what will be the outcome. Bali gonna lose everything, and in this way, I, Shukra, also gonna lose everything. And while Shukracharya had a very mundane perspective, Bali Maharaj's perspective was transcendental. He saw the spiritual approach to it. Now, out of his anger, Shukra, he cursed Bali. He said, you will lose everything. In that sense, he made the providence true. Now, Vamadev, he was very pleased when Bali Maharaj said, yes, I will offer you 3 steps of land. And when this promise was confirmed, then Vamanadev, his form, became bigger and bigger. He became so tall that he occupied the whole universe. And it's even said that within him, the whole universe was residing. Which means he manifested the universal form of the Lord. And then with his first step, he covered all the planet Earth, Bhumandala. With his second step, he covered all the heavenly planets. And it said, with his toenail, he pierced the shell which separates the material universe to the spiritual universe. And when that shell was broken, the river Ganges started to flow down to planet Earth. Now here's a problem. Because Bali, he promised 3 steps of land. But with only 2 steps, the Lord, he occupied everything which was in possession of Bali Maharaj. Now, Vamanadev, he reduced again his form. He became the small Brahmana boy. And he approached Bali and said, what about the 3rd step? There's nothing left for me to cover. And Vamanadev, he called for Garuda. And Garuda arrived with a rope of Vasuki to bind Bali Maharaj. He became a prisoner because he didn't fulfill his promise. There was some fault, and he was captivated in that sense by Bali Maharaj. Now the Lord wanted to chastise him, but this chastisement was a blessing in disguise. And the fault was that Bali Maharaj, he promised charity beyond his capacity of giving. So he couldn't fulfill his promise. And why did he make that kind of, you remember at the beginning he said, I can give you anything that you want. He had a sense of false pride. Due to this opulence which he possessed and the attachment which was coming from that, he had a sense of pride. And Vamanadev, he wanted to crush that. Because Bali, ultimately, he's a pure devotee, and he has to become purified from that tendency to show his full opulence of Krishna consciousness. Now, after Vamanadev bound him, he cursed him. And he cursed him that he would have to go to hell. But in that curse, there is a double meaning. The first is, yeah, you have to go to the hellish planets for your sin. But at the same time, it was a blessing, because the Lord blessed him, you will actually go to my abode. There's like a small twist in one word of that verse, which gives these 2 meanings to it. And the Acharyas, they explain this. Now, what Vamanadev wanted to show is the tolerance of a devotee. Because how did Bali react? He didn't protest. He didn't say, I need a lawyer. So very humbly, he accepted the curse of the Lord and the reactions which came with that. And that's one of the qualities of a pure devotee, to be tolerant even in challenging circumstances. But still, Vamana, he was demanding, what about the 3rd step? And Bali Maharaj, being bound, he very humbly, he lowered his head and he said, my Lord, please step on my hand. Now here, what Bali is demonstrating is the principle of Atmanivedana. To give oneself fully into the hands of the Lord. But there is a doubt, because the head, or one's own self, is not proportional to the whole planet Earth, or to speak about the whole universe. But the Acharyas, they describe, they explain, that actually the owner of a property is greater than the property itself. Which means when we give ourselves completely to the Lord, that's the highest offering we can give, we can do. It's much more than anything material which we can offer. Giving our own self, our heart to the Lord, that's the highest offer we can do. And that's Atmanivedana, to give oneself fully into the shelter of the Lord. So, the instruction which Vamanadev wanted to teach Bali, and in that sense all of us, that we should not be overtaken by false pride. Because the Lord, He sees what we hide. He sees what we have in our heart, the impurities. Therefore we should not hide anything in front of Him. And sometimes the Lord has to punish us a little bit so that we become purified from that false identification or tendencies which are not favorable in the execution of devotional service. And that's the Lord's mercy. Those who are intelligent, they learn by listening. But sometimes we need a stick, which beats us a little bit up. So let's stay in that kind of meditation during the day about that pastime and what kind of lessons we can attract. And what we want to, in the remaining time, further explore is the untruthfulness which Bali Maharaj showed by making a false promise, but then rectifying that by becoming truthful again and surrendering his own self. Vaishnava Kripa, she will continue.
Hare Krishna, good morning. So, truthfulness is known as one dharmic principle. When I have the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada explains that living according to the four dharmic principles actually brings us peace of mind. And with the age, we are losing all those dharmic principles. It reduces to, in Satya Yuga, you have the four dharmic principles prominent. So there's a lot of peace of mind. It's truthfulness, compassion, discipline, and purity. I actually shouldn't. But in Satya Yuga, you have all the four principles. You have peace of mind. And Treta Yuga, it reduced to 3/4. Dwapara Yuga to half. And the Satya Yuga, the last remaining principle is truthfulness. And we have an analogy in Bhagavatam, the first canto. There is a bull that was beaten by a shooter. And this bull, these four legs represented these four principles. And this bull has 3 broken legs, and instead of just one leg. That's truthfulness. And even Kali Yoga is just like not very stable, because we are losing this last principle. So why last principle? Because if you lose your compassion, if you lose your purity, if you lose your discipline, but you stay true to yourself, you can recover. But if you lose your truthfulness, you lose everything. So here in this verse was said that the Mother Earth, it is said the lion is the most sinful activity, and even the Mother Earth could not bear the weight of a lion. And it's very heavy to speak, isn't it? When Divya said, I'm gonna tell the best time to speak about truth today, I said, oh my gosh. This is a challenge because personally, every year I like to choose one of these dharmic principles to guide my year. Last year was discipline, austerity, and this year is truthfulness. And since I chose this principle, the life has been really, really a challenge since then. But let's see with the positive outlook, because sometimes we just think about the regulations. I don't eat meat, I don't drink alcohol, the don'ts. This is the regulations, not the principles. The principles is compassion, truthfulness, purity, discipline. And actually there's something very welcome. When you read the pastime, you can think about something heavy, or the Mother Earth is feeling very heavy with the presence of a lion, not a truthful person. But if you see from a positive perspective, we can see that actually this principle is what everybody is aiming for. It's nowadays everybody aims for being more disciplined, isn't it? There are many books, many courses teaching people how to be more disciplined. Everybody wants to have purity, and Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavatam says in this pastime that okay, purity of the body is something very obvious, but we're speaking about cleaning the dust of the mind. And everybody nowadays is looking for cleaning the dust of the mind, isn't it? They have so many mental problems. Nowadays, in September, Brazil is a month that dedicates to Yellow September, it's a month for prevention of suicide. And after pandemic, it became even more and more prevalent, the health or mental health issues. So everybody wants to have peace of mind. So everybody also wants to, I said discipline, I said purity. What else? Compassion. have many studies showing that, for example, the same practice that give you peace of mind, increase areas in your brain that make you become more compassionate. Bhakti-Siddhanta Thakur said that Dharma, the Daya, compassion, is the higher Vaishnava quality. So we cannot achieve self-realization without compassion. So this is something that's a value that's recognized as something good. And compassionate people, they are happy people. We have studies also showing this. Acts of compassion leads to more happiness. The fourth? Truthfulness. So the topic of the lecture, Srila Prabhupada said, is bring peace of mind. And not just Srila Prabhupada said, because I also like to bring the scriptures, but since I'm scientist, I also like to bring what the science says. Not the science is more important than what Srila Prabhupada says, but this is our modern language. My Guru Maharaj says, when you go to a country, now I have to translate to Russian. It's important that you speak the language of the country. So I think I'm going to learn German. But nowadays, in modern days, the scientific language is a universal language. And it's important that you understand also. And that's what science says, is that when you are not truthful, you suffer from more distress and it leads you to many problems, health problems. So I hope so far I convinced you that truthfulness is something important, isn't it? It's not just something I have to follow this because someone told me this very regulative principle. No, something very welcome for my health, for my peace of mind, and for my spiritual life. And to live this world more light, because the Lord said, I cannot keep up with this weight. So, okay, the seventh life is not good, but okay, but my parents, they taught me this, I don't use to lie. And one important thing, Srila Satyananda Swami used to say that, okay, not lying to others, one thing, but sometimes even for small things you can lie, for example. You're not feeling good, and somebody will come, how are you doing? I'm wonderful. I'm wonderful, very inspired, and just feeling miserable inside. And we don't open our hearts. So to be truthful, one thing is important, our part, to be honest with what we're feeling, with our faults, our areas of progression, and it's important also to have a safe environment where we can express ourselves without being judged. Because one of the Vaishnava exchange, walking exchange, is reveal our mind and confidence, isn't it? So it's expected that it's confident. It means I rely on you, not just to tell what I'm telling about myself, but that you can hear me without judgment. You can listen me empathically also. And this is one aspect, not to lie to others also in the terms of revealing our mind. But other aspect is don't lie to ourselves in terms of living a truthful life, authentic life, an integral life. And this is something that in my journey, professional journey, I get conflict with one professional as a reference for me. She's a nurse, and she developed some research about the 5 regrets of people that are dying, because she's working with palliative care. Palliative care is a kind of care taking care of people that have a very severe diseases, is in final stages of life, to bring them a comfort, quality of life. And she listed 5 top regrets that people that's about to die have. And one of them, guess what? Not have courage to live an authentic life and live the life other people expected from me. So I'd like to ask you, why did you come to Krishna consciousness? Because I want to be the only one speaking truthfulness up here. I want you to speak also. Why did you come from Krishna consciousness? The bottom of your heart. Have you thought about this? Because if you don't think about this, maybe you're not living authentic life. You're just following regulations, you don't know why you're here. We are not using our culture to contemplate death. Actually, I say in the material culture, but in spiritual culture, yes, because Srila Prabhupada reminds us all the time, isn't it? At the Holy Sankhya Yoga session of Bhagavad Gita reminds us we are not the body, we are the soul. We have the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita preparing us for our final moment. There is one book for really, I just want to call it Final Exam. He wrote this book because he built a palliative hospice in Vrindavan to take care of patients that are dying and want to die in the Holy Dhamma. And he himself took personally care of his parents. And what he realized, some teachings in this book, where many authors write chapters, Radhanath Swami, Satyananda Swami, is that when you're facing death, actually you become super alive because you understand the meaning of the life. You don't want to waste your time. In the Buddhist tradition, they have one meditation, that's the corpse meditation. They meditate about their deaths. And Srila Prabhupada also, he brings some text from Srila Prabhupada in this book where he says, Prabhupada says that we are prepared for the death because we are all the time thinking that you're not this body, meditating that you're not this body. That when the time comes, you understand it's just a new phase of life. And I think we meditate that our body is temporary. Our time here is temporary. Actually make us live more authentically, more truthfully. Because we don't have time to waste. We don't know how to be our next body in the next life. I think everybody here is in a very favorable situation, isn't it? You're just by the feet of Srila Prabhupada, in front of our Lord, celebrating one day every day, a previous day. So how am I going to be my next life? I don't know. So I don't want to waste my time. I want to live an authentic life. I don't want to arrive in the last days of my life, look back and say, I didn't live the life I wanted for myself. I didn't live truthfully. So now I'm going to ask again, if you already have some reflections, why did you come to Krishna consciousness? That's not the right answer. Because it's about truthfulness. What is truthful for you? There's no right answer.
I became more serious because it made me happy.
So happiness was something that brought you to Krishna consciousness.
Yes, and like the life before was not so.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You?
Yeah, it's a good question actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of Krishna says 4 kinds of people come to him, and so it must be something connected to these 4.
I'm making a personal question, isn't it? If you don't feel comfortable to speak, I don't speak. What?
So definitely I was suffering, and then I became more inquisitive,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I came here to become wealthy, but definitely suffering and then some inquisitiveness.
Have knowledge, isn't it? Some more inquisitive about responses. Mm-hmm.
Feeling also happiness, definitely.
Happiness, yes.
Nice prasadam.
Yeah. Prabhupada said that happy devotees is the best preaching, isn't it? Because when people see devotees all smiling and dancing, I want to join this moment. It's amazing. It's our nature, isn't it? Satchidananda, we want happiness. Thank you, Divya.
I was suffering too, and I was looking for some different kind of approach to life, something with higher purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, knowledge attracted.
Mm-hmm. Knowledge. Mm-hmm. Knowledge is something that also always attracted me. So whenever my life is too busy, I not have time for dedicate to sadhya and meditative studies, I think that's something wrong. I not be truthful to myself. And then I think this question is a good thermometer for us to understand, because you know that in the material world we have ups and downs, like seasons. happiness, distress, it comes and goes. But if you are constantly in distress, there's something wrong. You came here searching for happiness, but you are constantly in distress. So this can indicate that you're not living truthfully according to what you came here searching for. And Krishna, Srila Prabhupada wants us to be happy. This is our natural state. Devotional service is performed happily. So I think it's important to take this question home. It's not something you're going to reflect now. I told you, I made truthfulness the word of my year. We are already in September. Since no one tried to find a response. But this, as soon as you find this response, we're going to require not a direct principle, that's discipline to follow the path. Okay, I found the response, it's not a good situation. And I'm going to have to make some changes in my life. Just to give a practical example, last year, when the year was about to finish, I was already meditating on truthfulness for this next year. And I was working on a hospital that in the beginning there was some promise. You can develop a project here, it was aligned with my principles, blah, 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 and the things changed. And I said, this place is not aligned with my principles. I'm not being truthful here. I have to get out of here. But it's not, sometimes not so easy. We are in a situation and say, okay, I'm going to speak the truth all the time. What do you think? 100% of the time I'm going to speak the truth. In any condition, any situation. What do you think? This is a dharmic principle, I'm going to speak the truth above everything else.
I think it's also important to know when the right moments come that we don't say the truth, because we should say what is, of course, true, but also what brings the other person further and is actually beneficial and nice.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just tell the truth everywhere, it's
yeah. If it will be beneficial for the other person to speak the truth, if you're the right person, isn't it? Speak about feedback, isn't it? And having the Mahabharata, this history of a Brahmana who told a lie. You know this history. Because there was one family, it's like some robbers, they want to kill this family. This family came for shelter of this Brahmana, and they asked them to hide them. And the killers arrived and they asked, where is the family? And the Brahmana, what the Brahmana should say, the truth, no, they're here, they're here. So this is very complex because there are some situations in life that you have many different dharmic principles that looks like they oppose to themselves. But you should always feel for the higher principle. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur already told us, compassion is the higher principle. And this was even one of the arguments Shukracharya said, when you want to protect someone, you can lie. But this is exceptions, and not speak about exceptions, speak about general principles.
I read in Mahabharata, I don't exactly remember the pastime, but it just came in my mind. There was this pastime where Vidura actually lied to Dhritarashtra, or not lied. He didn't tell the truth because he didn't want to cause the pain to him. So there was, I don't remember exactly what it was, but he chose to remain silent rather than telling the truth or confronting him, just because he didn't want to cause pain to his heart.
And sometimes a person's not the moment that you can accept the truth. So as Jamuna said, you should know the right moment also. But you should always aim for this principle, because with the Manasahita said, the one who protects the Dharma is protected by the Dharma. So you should understand that these four principles actually they are the circle of our protection. Prabhupada gives us this protect us. As soon as we start breaking, compromise these principles, we become just vulnerable in this world. We want it. And what you lose? You lose our peace of mind, isn't it? So many of you came here to search for happiness. Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, how can one be happy without peace of mind? Cannot be happy without peace of mind. So these principles are also, actually they are very favorable for us because they protect us, they protect our peace of mind and they lead us to happiness. So then, I spoke already a lot. Just to conclude and to make a summary, we spoke about the importance of truthfulness, like a dharmic principle, the benefits, the problems we have, the benefits, what we don't want in our life, or at the end of our life, and just look back and regret that we didn't live a life that was truthful for us. And just to finish the story, because it started to be finished, I was in the situation, the hospital, so I said I have to get out of here. But no, my family depend on me, my mom depend on me, I cannot just get out of the hospital and I'm going to give support, so I make a plan. I actually plan. And this connects with what we're going to speak now, Diana. We can be in a situation that we don't feel truthful to ourselves. I'm not living a truthful life. I'm not living according to my principles, my core values. But maybe I cannot get out of this situation now, so let's make a plan. And then I plan, and I left one shift, other shift. So the last shift of the year said, 2024 will be the year of truthfulness, so I asked to get out of this hospital. And it happened, and should ask Krishna help for this. Krishna help me to get out of this situation. So what I would propose first, that you reflect on this, is something deep, and not get the answers in one day. And how can you live a more truthful life to yourself? If I die today, can I say that, okay, I lived the life I really wanted to live? And this is not something superficial, you know? I'm going to live what my desires are leading me to, what my mind is leading me to know. I'm speaking about the calling of our soul. So what would be a life that when I live, at the end of my day, I would say, okay, Krishna, take me. I'm fulfilling my purpose here. And if I'm not living this life, what's the blockage? How can I get out of the situation? How can I walk in the path of Dharma? Krishna is going to support you. You're going to receive everything you need. In the beginning, it looks like a big mess. Because if you start praying for this, Krishna, like the same situation, he's going to maybe take many of your properties, many of your securities. But if you make like Bali Maharaj and you really surrender, you're going to see, you're going to get everything actually. And make a plan. We can even use SMART goals. Something specific, measurable, achievable, something that's relevant, and with time bounded. Put goals. I'm gonna leave the situation. I remember my mom tells that when I was a child, I was 3 years old, and she sent me to stop. How did the stuff? The baby. Huh? Nookie. And she told me all the problems of this, you know, we're not going to have problems with your teeth. This. I said, oh, but I cannot live now. I was 3 years old. I said, okay, but when I complete 4 years old, I'm going to live this habit. And she said, on my birthday, 4 years old, I took the chupeta, they say chupeta in Portuguese, nookie, and I gave her. And she said, okay, I'm going to keep this, because not throw, because maybe at night she won't, and I didn't took this again. But I make a plan, you know, on my birthday. So put a deadline. Empower your dreams with deadlines. Put a deadline. I want to live a truthful life. I put a deadline for 2024, something I have to do. It's not easy. And I'm working on the schedule of this, but I don't want to start 2025 with the things behind. And so make a plan, a realistic plan, and have discipline to follow the path. Krishna is going to help you, the power of Dharma is going to help you, and you're going to be able to reach the final day of your life, look back and say, okay, mission accomplished. I can go with you, Krishna. There's some thoughts about this. Do you want to add something? If you want to make some questions, comments, add something, add experience, reflections.
Yes, thank you so much for this wonderful lecture. I was just reflecting on the question that you asked, like why did you come to Krishna consciousness, and I saw that I actually didn't told the whole truth. Because I was born into Krishna consciousness in that way, and my parents showed me. So that was actually the first step, and then, yeah, anyways. But then I was reflecting deeper, and I saw that actually so often we live or tell something that is not really truthful because we ourselves don't really know or not aware. So yeah, of course you were also mentioning that we really have to reflect and go deeper. Yeah, what to do in such situations that you sometimes see like, oh, I told something that is not really truthful, but I didn't even know in that moment.
First, no judgment. Don't judge yourself because you didn't know. You're not aware. But now you are aware, start the responsibility. Now I know. And now I know I have to take action. Because otherwise I'm not being judged to myself. Before you were in ignorance, you didn't know. Okay, this reality is okay for me. When you come to Krishna consciousness, it happens, isn't it? I was living such a lifestyle, then I arrived here and realized, no, it's not a good lifestyle for me. But if I go back, now the stress is even worse. Because now you already have knowledge about this. And then you follow what I said, moral distress. I'm acting acting against my values. So I never reflect about this. Okay, no problem. Now I know. So I cannot get out of this situation now. I'm going to make something realistic. I'm going to build a plan. And I'm going to ask Krishna's help. I'm going to do my part, be disciplined on the path. I'm going to ask Krishna's help to give me strength to be more truthful. And this is not something, even if I said, okay, this is the word of the year, it's not that I'm going to finish 2024 being the most truthful person. I have many things to work. To the final day of my life. And if I'm not completely truthful, next life I'll come back here again. I'm not feeling comfortable to share.
No, it just gone from me.
Okay. One thing, if you want to go deeper in this topic, if you go to sharanagati.net, Satchidananda Swami's website, you have a whole Dharma series where he speaks about all these principles. And it brings many exercises where you can do the self-exploration. Because it's something that takes time for you to understand more about yourself and how to live a truthful life, what's your nature. Sometimes you don't know, but you should take time to reflect on this. Otherwise, you just live a life, an automatic life, where it's exactly what this person said. I wish I would have the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expect of me. What my parents said is good for me, what my teacher says is good for me, what everyone, the society says is good for me. You go just automatically, don't stop and don't reflect. But when you start, nowadays work with palliative care. I do heart transplant and I work with people that are at the end of their life. But they have a chance, a second chance to receive a heart so they can have a second life. And I always ask them, so why you want a new heart? What are you going to do with your next lifespan? You have a second chance. When I make this question, they just have a bug in their minds, they don't know. It's very common. But every day you have a second chance. Every breath you have a second chance to live a more authentic life. So it's up to us to make the difference. And I'm speaking this from the bottom of my heart because, it's very painful you deal with people that look back and just regret. And what you are here aiming for something very high. I used to say this to you, you are the most ambitious person, you want Krishna Prema Bhakti. Yeah? A very ambitious people. So if you have this vision, what you want for should work for this. It not fall in our way, but you should follow authentic path. Be disciplined, cultivate purity. You're looking like shocked looking here today. Shocked you. I said I didn't want this to be heavy. The verse was very heavy, but you know, it looked very heavy. Or just reflecting.
No, it's very nice. It just the thing that I wanted to ask just came to my mind.
Okay.
We sometimes should be in a certain way, or we think we should be in a certain way, and then I see myself acting often like if I don't care, or if I'm okay with the thing that comes up, or if I really like to do the service or whatever, but actually I'm not. So
if you don't care about what? Sorry?
If I don't care about the issue that comes up or whatever, because we shouldn't
You
care
don't give so
about
much attention to the
Yeah.
mindset.
and how to really balance that we don't listen to the mind too much, but then also being very truthful.
Not to advise. He's putting a lot of responsibility on it today, isn't it? Joking.
It's just my better half. That's more forward into her.
It doesn't mean that you're gonna just now come to now I just gonna do what is my nature, what I love to do, what I came here to do. I'm not gonna do my service anymore. That's gonna be a very difficult situation. Yeah. But also the role as a leader is to engage people according to their nature. And but there's some service that just should be done. A couple of days ago, we have a visitor here from Germany. What's her name? This Indian girl. The Indian girl that was here. What's her name? I forgot. She's a scientist. She works with a nuclear reactor.
Who says she's strong?
Yeah. I didn't know she was working with nuclear engineer. And I just went there and saw her cleaning the floor of the stairs, She's not saying, no, I'm an engineer, I'm going to just do things connected with nuclear energy, this and that. And then she was speaking to me and she said, seeing her path different from Krishna consciousness, like something. And then a couple of days before, I just gave the lecture on Divya-Simha, and he spoke about this characteristic of Radharani, the symbol of concentrated love. Sandra, concentrated. Add Sandra Kirpaka symbol. Love and compassion concentrated there. And he gave the example of the atoms. When you concentrate the atoms, you have an atomic bomb. And when the mercy of Srimati Radharani explodes in our heart, destroying all our desires, material desires. And then I said, it's very nice that you engineer on this, because I see you're a very energetic person, and so you can just use all this energy in your knowledge to make many atomic bombs of bhakti and explode this in the hearts of everyone. And she said, oh, never thought about this, yes. This is my map. I'm going to buy land, I'm going to become a preacher, I'm going to preach, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're using your nature, very explosive nature. So you can use everything for Krishna. But it doesn't mean that on the path you will not have to do things that sometimes don't like to do. And Srila Prabhupada explains this in the first canto, second chapter. That tapasya, discipline, is doing things that sometimes not you want to do, but it's favor for our advancement. So doesn't think that walking the path of Dharma is doing just what's pleasing for you. You're going to have to do many things that you don't want to do. But it's important for your advancement, because it's not just truthfulness, discipline comes together. If there's no discipline, there's no austerity, there's no advancement. So this should be balanced. Not just doing what I want, not just doing those things that is not my nature, neglecting what also is the calling of Master. Someone else?
Can I ask about, I have a question. Prabhu was telling about the shell and the Ganga. What was the story about the shell and Ganga that was going to the earth? I just was speaking and missed a little, just a little when he became the whole universe, and then you told about the shell and what was the story?
So there's a separation between the material universe and the spiritual dimension. And the shell consists of 7 layers, which is connected with the elements of which our body and our subtle body is consisting, like intelligence, ego, mind, and earth, water, air, fire, ether. And Vamanadev, when he took the second step, because he had his gigantic form, so with his toe, he hit that shell of the universe, and he broke that shell. And the Ganges flows in the spiritual world. And out of this hole, drops of Ganges water were falling onto the earth. And there's another pastime related with that, how the earth became afraid, like, if Ganges now falls on me, it's again like an atomic bomb, it will just explode everything. And then Shiva, he volunteered to receive the Ganges on his head, and then Ganges was flowing to the Himalayas, into its different path, which is just a little bit in a nutshell.
Just to complement one thing that came to my mind now, because Damodar Prasad gave a lecture a few days yesterday. Very honest lecture, very truthful lecture, speak about emotions, also speak about anger. And sometimes someone in a leadership position get angry and feels not get done. And I shared yesterday also that when I arrived here and I saw how everything is very well maintained. I felt very grateful to be here. How the devotees are taking well care of the Hadar Srila Prabhupada. And what Srila Prabhupada wrote for us is very precious. So doing any service here is the most elevated one. Serving Srila Prabhupada, serving this movement is the most elevated one. Most elevated than any service you can do outside the material world. And sometimes we take it for granted. We say, I don't like to do the service, I don't like to do that service. But serving directly the mission, this is the most wonderful thing. So you should not be mental if sometimes you have to do something that you feel you're not good at, and or you really don't love to do this. Sometimes you just have to have things done, you know, because you're doing this with love, to keep Srila Prabhupada's property, to help more people to come and enjoy this path. It's just wonderful. See how many wonderful things we spoke here today? What the whole world is searching for: peace of mind, compassion, discipline, and he gave us a schedule, a program that you follow, and you develop these virtues. So I received a lot, I want to reciprocate what needs to be done. Okay, let's do it. Doesn't mean that we're going to abandon our nature because of doing some service. And it's also temporary, it's part of our training. Sometimes I don't like to do one service, but I need to develop some quality. So that's why Krishna put me in this service. So thank you so much for your attention. Have a wonderful Sunday. So all glories to our Master Srila Prabhupada.
Jai. Shri Vamradvadashi ki Jai. Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki
Jai. Divya-Simha Prabhu Vaishnava Kripa Mataji ki Jai. Nachher ist es Suchfunktion. Du kannst aufstehen, suchen. Mehrere überall suchen. Genau. Das heißt, Wählerbase. Ist das ein monatliches Abonnement oder so einmal? Ich glaube, das kann irgendwie 50 Franken oder so zahlen. Okay. Aber ich kann es empfehlen. Das ist eine gute Investition. Ja, eine vorstellen. Weil auch wenn ich viel studiert habe, ist es echt gut. Das kann ich nicht mehr. Okay. Also nicht ganz, ja. Zumindest Arm.
вообще.
Просто меня написали там и окей.
Если что, можете меня проверить. Вкусно. Можно ближе, снять нормально?
Те, которые забирают, куда набираться, стоили еще поставить завтра.
смету потом все.
Jagannath is umbrella. Jagannath is umbrella.
Yes, once they disappear.
Because of rain?
No.
And there is Rudraksha. Why? Rudraksha is Vamadev. Vamadev was worshipping Shiva. And that one. Tamuna, put your drying room and kitchen shoes shelf. Is it okay?
It's just I dress Prabhupada and I will clean the furniture from Prabhupada. So I'm actually...
You can boss them. Nobody else can do it. Maybe I can, my co-host can do this. Many people do.
I don't like that guests will do that.
Huh?
I don't like that guests do that. So maybe guests will do that.
Maybe because I put Christina and Shamasuni for entrance. So they probably one of them can be entrance and other
No, there are so many other ones.
all is engaged. All others engaged. These whom I know. Can you explain to Shamasundari how to make drying room and the shoes shelf?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. I will talk to you. What is it? Albina and Divya-Simha today, do you know? No?
No.
Is that Dina cleaning today something? Ashna? Or she? Huh?
She usually does clean anything on Sunday.
She cleaned on Monday. Okay, but maybe...
А?
Вирус уже не забрали.
Ні, так видно, що не став, що прийшов, люди оті, вона знає.
Окей, ще на план.
А що вона плаче?
Только сейчас. Уже нравится. But maybe you can also engage Divya-Simha if she is not doing some education. She should do a lot of things. Okay, exactly. I mean, like if you need help, you can ask Mrs. Seva.